Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Clown Planet Daily Wrap Up. What is today? The 4th of September, 2025. Almost 3 o'clock on your Thursday, wherever you are. We're in the East Coast. Center of our universe is right there. So, wherever you are, welcome. Thank you for coming on. Hey, let's go ahead and get right to it. So, Tim Kaine spoke and something stupid came out of his mouth. He said the notion that rights don't come from laws or the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. The statement that our rights do not come from laws or government is extremely troubling. And as Dr. Kevin Gutzman, author of Jefferson's biography and a couple others, he wrote, and this is coming from a guy from Virginia. If you understand that joke, all the Virginians, Declaration, I mean, James Madison, Jefferson, Washington, Patrick Henry, the whole 9 yards. They'd probably be rolling over the graves going, what in the world did you just say? But that's Tim Kaine for you. Not the smartest, not the sharpest knife in the cupboard. In other funnier news, RFKJ is absolutely taking these guys to town. He's, with this, here's Nick Cheerleader Sorter. RFKJ just crushed Elizabeth Warren when she started pushing for jabs, and she lost it. We aren't going to recommend a product for which there is no clinical data for the indication. I know you've taken $855,000 from pharma companies. So in a way, we'll see what happens with this because kind of theater too. I mean, remember WWE, WWF. This is just, a Royal Rumble showdown. Everyone's getting distracted and focused on this now for today. It is fun to watch. Get your popcorn ready for it. It's good to see people getting taken down and like that, exposed. But in the end of the day, usually nothing ever happens. I thought I had another one. There it is right here. Here's extreme cheerleader Benny Johnson. RFKJ went on for 2 minutes straight, tearing into politicization of Rona. The entire room went silent. Quote, the whole process was politicized, Senator. I mean, we were lied to about everything. We were lied to about natural immunity. We were lied to about, we were told again and again that jabs would prevent transmission. That didn't work. They prevent infection. That wasn't true. They knew it from the start. It wasn't true because what's in the animal studies and the clinical trials showed. We were told that there was science behind cloth masks. The CDC allowed the teachers union to write the order closing our schools, which hurt working people all over the country, and then pretend it was science-based. President Brandon said in August, I would never take the jab, the Trump jab. And he came in, he mandated it, and then he fired the 2 top health officials at the FDA who said, hey, this thing has not been properly tested. So the whole thing was politicized even today. Notice he didn't say what? That his boss is the father of the jab, Operation Warp Speed. Notice a couple of days ago, Trump comes out saying how bad and terrible Warp Speed was, even though he just got done saying for the last 8 years how amazing, 6 years, how amazing that 4 years, what year are we on? 5 years. We'll take the median. How wonderful that is, and he is the father of the jab, and everyone should go out and get it. So he comes out Monday, I think it was Monday, saying he's trying to back away from it. Then this comes up. And now it's just one team doing it. It isn't both teams because remember that whole year everything was shut down. So who was in charge? Can't remember who was president. It sounds like Ronald. Anyway, he was in, but now he is getting a pass because it's red team versus blue team, and we're just going to point this the Spider-Man meme. We're pointing fingers at each other. So nothing is good. Don't expect anything to happen from this. Here's Michael Knowles talking about, should babies be allowed to own guns, felons, the mentally ill, because he's responding to shall not be infringed that this one lady, the Vegas AB put. And the reason why is because this is about the Justice Department is deliberating banning guns for transgenders as part of a range of options blocking mentally unstable individuals from committing acts of violence. Apparently, the Daily Wire learned. Now, again, I've already had somebody already tell me exactly what I knew what they were going to say. They went and said 14th Amendment. And you could just guarantee, you could know that they were going to say it. It's the only thing they can say back. because the Second Amendment says Congress shall not pass, Congress shall not, Congress shall not. That means the federal government cannot do. Now, the federal government cannot do that to the states, any state, period. The state can do whatever they want. If a state wants to ban guns to get into a training, fine, totally cool. State wants to ban guns going to whoever, totally fine. The U.S. federal government has zero say on any of this. That's the main point. Do we want that in the mentally unstable? No. But also, we don't want the federal government, who is literally not the group that you want to do anything for, to mandate things. Oh, by the way, that would be, let's go ahead and set a precedent. And then when the other team comes in, they can do something against you. It's not a bright idea. Here's the New York Post. Shoppers at New York Mall mistake umbrella for AR-15 rifle, prompting chaos and a police lockdown. So that happened back in the University of South Carolina and Columbia last week. Yeah, last week. I think it was last Monday. China's new global governance. What is it exactly? Beijing's model focuses on things the West's rules-based order has forgotten: equality, law, and common development. Again, every time you look at this, you see when they put the China versus U.S., you should think of the Great Reset, because that was the whole theme of it. Who's going to come out on top, China or the U.S.? And it's been really a U.S. versus China thing the last couple months. Anyway, if you want to read all this in the show notes, it's underneath. ICE will gain access to spyware designed to hack phones and read private messages after the Trump administration reactivated a contract for spyware from Tel Aviv-based Paragon. We talked about this yesterday and the day before. I think I played a video on it. No, the video yesterday was on a different one, but I think I read the clip from it. But anyway, here's the archived link on this if you want to read it. I read it the other day. I can't remember, Monday or Tuesday. Again, check it out. Send it to your favorite MAGA guy and say, pound you voted for it, right? Because now, we don't care about liberty. We just care about spying on everybody. That's the new quote-unquote conservative idea. This buds for you. Alaskan pilot appeals forfeiture of plane over 6-pack of beer. So an Alaskan bush pilot walks into the Supreme Court with a 6-pack of beer. Sounds like a start of a joke. Well, for Ken Juppie, it's no laughing matter. Juppie and his counsel at the Institute for Justice have just filed a petition for a writ of certiorari to appeal a decision from the Alaska Supreme Court that held the state could seize his $95,000 Cessna U-206D airplane over a 6-pack of beer found in a passenger's bag of groceries. Alaska has a state law allowing towns and villages to go dry, and it is a state-level crime to knowingly send, transport, or bring an alcoholic beverage to such villages. Oh, so they become Puritans. Did not know that. This is this congressman, former Congressman Kurt Weldon, you talk about someone who's full of energy. You click on this, and you will be entertained for the 58 minutes of that. He does not hold back. Great interview. They're having a big 9/11 conference, I think, in next week. I think it is. That's what he's advertising on, and he's trying to focus on the firefighters. And he brings up clips that probably most people have not seen before, and a documentary that firefighters put together. What was it called? Ladder? No, I can't remember. They bring it up in here. I watched a little bit of it yesterday. Here's from the day: sick freaks protest outside Catholic school in defense of trans shooter. In the wake of tragic mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis, where 2 kids were killed and 17 injured, a small group of lunatics have sparked widespread outrage by protesting, apparently in defense of trans ideology. At least it wasn't the Danbury Baptist, not the Danbury Baptist. Who was those Baptist guys that used to come out and just say God hates everything? Every time there was something, they just showed up. What was those guys? Europe faces $1 trillion rearmament bill as U.S. weighs troop cuts. The IISS warns Europe faces gaps in air defense, long-range missiles, and intelligence that could cost up to $1 trillion to address. The U.S. Defense Review may cut American troop presence in Europe by up to 30%, shifting focus to Asia Pacific. European leaders are pledging billions in new defense spending, but struggle with slow procurement, recruitment shortages, and strained budgets. Here's the IDF moves deeper into Gaza City. We won't stop until Hamas is totally defeated. Translation: we won't stop until everyone's dead, and we've made our smart city now and put Trump Towers in the middle of it as the capital. We know the names. And after another redacted Epstein release, victims vow to produce their own list. And here's a little bit of the Epstein list was all event. And here's they had a meeting yesterday, conference. We showed a little bit of it yesterday. Epstein survivor Jenna Lisa Jones, quote, a person who has chosen to serve as an elected position has a duty to stand up for those who represent, who cannot always stand up for themselves. And people were wondering, why didn't they just start listing names right out front? Hostile act, too good. One of them said that they have been threatened with their lives, and so they weren't going to say them right there because they were afraid they might get whacked right after they got done with it. Trump says he's done a lot for Israel, including bombing Iran. The president also noted the Israel lobby's strong influence on Congress and said it has waned in recent years. And can't wane that much. It's still pretty high. So Israel is amazing because, I have good support for Israel. The president told the Daily Caller, look, nobody has done more for Israel than I have, including the recent attacks with Iran, whipping that thing out. That plane whipped them out like nobody ever saw before. And we're proud of committing war crimes for Israel. Breaking. DOJ deputy chief says government will redact every Republican while leaving all Democrat people on the Epstein client list. This is from O'Keefe. Yeah, it's O'Keefe. DOJ deputy chief admits government will redact every Republican while leaving all the liberal Democratic people on the Epstein list, says Ghislaine Maxwell was removed to a lower security prison as a benefit to keep her mouth shut. Daily Wire host calls for the execution of Chicago's mayor. Now, more context of that is Daily Wire show Matt Walsh accused Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson of treason and said Johnson should be given the requisite punishment for a capital offense. Because how dare he stand up to the U.S. president? Because that's the dictator. You should bow down, kneel before Zod. Speaking of Wednesday's edition of Matt Walsh show, which airs when Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire on Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire platform, Walsh expressed support for a once and future King President DJT's deployment of National Guard soldiers to large cities controlled by Democrats, ostensibly to combat crime. So, translation: Walsh rejected his conservatism for Teen Party politics and is okay with violating posse comitatus. Probably, I would wager he has zero clue what posse comitatus even is. The Mexican flag from Flagstaff. I said Mexican flag. The Mexican national from Flagstaff has died in ICE detention. This was a developing story. Mexican national and longtime Flagstaff resident has died in immigration detention in Florence, Arizona. In a September 2nd press release, ICE says 32-year-old Lorenzo Antonio Batres Vargas died on the morning of August 31st at the Mountain Vista Medical Center in Mesa. He was detained in Central Arizona Correctional Complex since July after being arrested by the Phoenix PD for aggravated assault and other charges. A GoFundMe campaign signed up to help with the funeral expenses in Flagstaff says he likely died from complications of the Rona. We're just going to blame everybody on the Rona now. You just died. Armani. Giorgio Armani, king of Italian fashion, dies in 91, probably because of the Rona. It probably wasn't, but I'm just saying somebody's going to use that. I mean, just making fun of the last one. August job cuts, highest since pandemic, says the report. And that just shows you that the economy's going, you're going to get gaslit to say how great it is. But in reality, there are 4 lights when there's 3. The economy is not doing so hot, but they're going to tell you it's the greatest thing ever. Which they actually have said that many times. Why your health insurance copays, deductibles, and premiums will probably surge next year. And if you have insurance like this, quote unquote traditional insurance, get off it. Go to stuff like Samaritans. By the way, you're in network everywhere you go. And if you have a large family, I think the max you pay a month is $700, $750, I think it is. Depends. What do you if you have a traditional insurance with a family of 4 or 5 or 6, it's what, $1,200, $1,500, something like that. And you don't have to worry about government telling you what to do. Trump orders strike on suspected drug boat to send message, Rubio says. U.S. This is from the other day. U.S. forces could have stopped the boat that officials say were carrying illegal drugs from Venezuela to these United States on Tuesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said. But once and future Kaine President DJT chose instead to destroy it, killing 11 people on board to send a deterrent message to traffickers. Instead of interdicting it on the president's orders, we blew it up. It'll happen again, Rubio told reporters Wednesday in Mexico City. We should stop these guys. It's the most humane things to do. It's like Team America. What did he say? I don't know. Let's blow these guys up and figure it out later. Here is Marco Rubio. Will drug traffickers from friendly countries face unilateral execution too? The friendly governments are going to help us, Rubio says. I don't care what the UN says. Guys, we talk about a just government that's run amok. Stop drug boats. We did that. It doesn't work. Well, what will stop them is blow them up. That is not exactly rule of law. Again, we talk about that with intercoastal international waters and all that. The rules we just make it up as we go right now. Vance Scholes reporter for complaining about taking out narco-terrorists because they make up you're a narco-terrorist just because people are going to believe it, because most of the people that listen to the news is just going to tell you, it comes in my ear, that must be truth. That's the gospel message being told to me through whoever's speaking it on the talking head, and I'm never going to question anything. If I do question it, I must hate puppies. Vice President and future King Vance was having none of it when a reporter appeared to take issue with the administration's obliteration of a vessel carrying narco-terrorists and a boatload of drugs on its way to the U.S. from Venezuela. What legal authority were you guys working under? That's a great question. Vance shot back. These were our people, literal terrorists, who are bringing deadly drugs into our country. Next question. Next question should have been, what legal authority were you guys working under? As it says, what authority? Or how about the authority of protecting the country from foreign enemies, which is a sworn duty under the Constitution? That's not exactly it. Well, you go again. Imagine worried about the terrorists' legal rights. That's if they were terrorists. Hey, come on. These are the same people that are defending Epstein right now. Oh, and committing genocide in Gaza. Why are more millionaires renting? The number of millionaire renters in these United States more than tripled between 2019 and 2023. As it says at the beginning, since house ownership has soared, renting has emerged as popular and economical option, even for those who can afford to buy. According to a report from Rent Cafe, the number of millionaire renters in the United States reached 13,692 in 2023, more than triple what it was in 2019, while the growth rate of millionaire home owners lagged behind. I don't know. Now they talk about just saying they're choosing flexibility and liquidity over ownership, which again goes into they're playing the whole idea of own nothing, be happy. They're not tied down. Probably they don't have any families. It's probably a single person jumping around, living the life, blah, 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 not having a backyard or anything like that. They don't care about that. Mysterious object headed towards Mars. Apparently this is news. I don't know why. Maybe the people on Mars, none of them are worried about what's coming in. Somebody got excited and NASA saw something for the first time in a week, maybe. A mouthful of trouble. Indian toddler bites cobra in bizarre incident. The 2-year-old stuns doctors as he kills snake after it attacked him and survives as the venom does not enter his bloodstream. This is this is a real thing. It's not a the Onion or anything. A 2-year-old boy in Katwa village located in eastern state of Bihar, India, killed a cobra by biting it after the venomous snake got too close to him. Govinda Kumar was playing at home when he spotted a nearly 1 meter long snake. He attempted to grab it, but the reptile coiled around his hands and attacked him, according to local media reports. The boy's grandmother was quoted as saying that Govinda's reaction was to bite the snake's head, killing it on the spot. He pulled an Ozzy Osbourne. The child then passed out and was rushed to the hospital. Grandmother Devi told local news, "I was moving firewood near the house and the cobra came out. We rushed towards the boy when he saw he had taken the cobra's head into his mouth. We then separated the cobra from his mouth and hands. The cobra died on the spot while the child fell unconscious." The Hindustan Times newspaper reported that the child had bitten so hard into the snake that it was ripped in two. That's a big time bite for a kid. According to the TV news outlet India Today, village locals said the boy was possibly agitated by the snake coming too close to him. You think? I received the child active and alert, but his mouth and face were swollen because of the reaction to the venom in the oral cavity. They told us he bit the cobra and the snake died on the spot. Anything else on it? Anyway. I'm trying to picture that and speak at the same time. Anyway, have a great rest of the day. I know that was kind of quicker than normal, but I do news from the pew later, so just trying to get this out for today. Where Rick and I will do that with 8:30, so about 5 hours over on the News from the Pew channel. So don't forget to click, like, subscribe, all that jazz here. Comment if you tell me if you think I stink. Tell that. Hey, let me know you're watching. Anyways, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. Don't forget censusfidelium.tv for the app. Thank you very much, and see you in a few.